Welcome to Talking IoT, a series of short, enlightening conversations on what's happening across the Internet of Things. I'm your host, Silicon Labs Chief Marketing Officer, Megan Lueders, and here with me today is Josh Cox, the founder and CEO of Oxit. Oxit's an IoT consulting company that specializes in developing and deploying customized solutions for their customers. And you're also a member of the Silicon Labs Design Partner Program, and we're delighted to have you with us today, Josh. Welcome.
Thank you, Megan. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Josh, I know we've been talking quite a bit over the last couple of weeks about all the tremendous growth that we've seen in IoT. The market is just exploding. New technologies, new applications continue to emerge. What do you think are the biggest challenges facing companies that are active in this IoT market, and what companies are looking to add into their products?
Yeah, so I have one of my new favorite phrases is it's never been easier in IoT to make a mistake. And it's kind of a fun play on words, but it's very serious in that there's a lot of, I guess I'll say a lot of solutions, if you will, that engineer clients into holes and they get stuck. And I think there's a lot of things that help companies kind of get that first POC off the ground or first pilot, but probably not the best thing to build a full scalable business on top of. So when I think about, some of the challenges and difficulties, it's navigating all of these plethora of decisions out there and all these tools and figuring out which one do I actually want to build my business on. As a kind of a fun poke back, I like to think of Facebook actually had like an IoT platform that you could build on top of. That's no longer around today. As an example, right? You look at all these options, all these things out there, and go, what am I building? What horse am I going to attach my wagon to? But as I look at the broader market and the opportunity too, you've got the early adopters, the guys who went out there and did it first. And now they're having to go back and design that 2.0 because things have been become, the idea of what scalability really means and the basic features, but also how to actually get this thing to be economical and how to actually run a business. So a lot of companies are going in and designing their 2.0 versions, as well as you have some of the companies coming out and introducing their first. So it's really a great time to just kind of make that plunge. And we see it from both sides, the guys coming in and doing their second revision and trying to solve all those, those problems that they didn't get right the first time, as well as those companies that, played it a little bit safer and are now coming into the space.
Well, and I love that because that's exactly where you come in to play in all of this as a design partner to these customers that have to think about these challenges, right? Like what platform do I choose? What considerations do I need to have in terms of battery life and memory? So you are there to help navigate with these customers, and we work very closely hand in hand in doing so. Maybe explain how you actually do that. How do you help these customers address these challenges, and what makes Oxit so unique in delivering this service?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, when I look at what makes us unique, or why you should use any design service partner for that reason is mainly around, a couple of categories. One is expertise. So it's how long do you want to spend developing it, and what are your main objectives, and that kind of thing. And when we really consider, developing a product and what makes us unique is mainly focus and prioritization and how we operate. So when I throw the word focus out there and expertise, what that means is we don't try to be everything to everyone. Instead, we really like working with partners like Silicon Labs and being a great partner with you guys and having that deep domain expertise. Most design houses out there, they go, oh, we work with everything and nobody, and and they're kind of a part, they're that master of none, but they work with everything. And we've really kind of tried to take an opposite approach to that. We focused on key groups of technology, of cloud providers, and rather than trying to know them all, we really tried to focus on the ones that we believe are the horse and the wagon that we wanted to kind of go with. So that's really helped us excel. But outside of that conversation, the real magic for us has been in our ability to listen, and provide solutions. One of our clients, they say, Josh, I like working with you guys because you don't ask me where to put the button. You show me a design with a button and say, what do you think, right? And we use that kind of holistically around everything we do. We really try to be innovative and helpful in the process and try to get the conversation going. But more broadly speaking, we also do it over and over again. So we've got the bumps and bruises, and you don't have to go out and pay your own team to do it. One final comment I'll add, which has been really interesting with the COVID situation, is when you bring I think a lot of companies go through this buy versus build model, and even looking at engineering services through that same context. Should I create my own team, or should I use an outside third party? And what's been wild is to watch COVID and have all these clients pause work with us, and then call us and say, hey, I'm ready to start again. You can't do that with an internal team. Those employees have moved on to new jobs, right? And so that's really been an interesting trajectory for us, is just to see how useful we can be in that innovative process, especially when you're trying to do something that's a year or two out. The idea that you can call your dev partner and say, hey, I need to put this on ice, and then show back up 6-8 months later and start it back up with all that domain expertise still here has really been interesting.
Yeah, I really grasped onto you saying a couple things. One, right, you narrowing in your focus with some of the partners that you work with and some of the technologies, and then you continuously invest in that innovation of how they're thinking. You understand the roadmap, and how to then help those customers, whether it's 6 months from now or 6 months in the past, and then coming back to you 18 months later and saying, now what? Now we're ready to go deep. And because you've got that intimacy with those partners and what's happening with the latest in protocols and platforms, and even ecosystem partners, that really comes into play when these customers are coming to you at any point of the conversation. And I would imagine that the importance of those partnerships, and even access to what we'll call them early access programs, that may be available with some of those large ecosystems that are household names anymore. How relevant is that into your conversations with these customers today?
I mean, it's very relevant. I think most companies, as I said, trying to do it right the second time, or trying to get into it, a lot of times they're building for the current state of the market, yet their development's going to take 6 months, 8 months, a year. So it's really about understanding, where are things going to be in 6 to 8 months? How do I build for tomorrow? And so if you're not working with someone who has their pulse on those partnerships and relationships, and understanding what innovation's taking place, and also how bleeding edge they want to be as a company. We've got the safer, we work with companies that really want to play it safe, and we work with companies who are really trying to be innovative. And in those conversations, it's great though. I think more than anything, it's just about knowledge and understanding what's happening in the marketplace. So in that way, it's very relatable, and it's very important. And the partnerships go a long way in those conversations. So.
Yes, I can only imagine. And it's interesting. You say some want to lean in a little bit more and really progress. And then you've got those that are saying, hey, I'll take more of a deliberate approach. And you've got solutions and designs and this knowledge, both with your ecosystem partners as well as your development partners, to help you span that spectrum. So just curious, what's got you most excited about IoT and the developments that you may expect that we see in the next couple of years?
Well, I guess that's the next couple of years is always tough. I think we generally are bad at understanding the pace at which things are changing.
True.
They're changing so fast. I really get excited about technology almost disappearing, and becoming so integrated into our lives that it makes them better, but it's not so bulky and loud. So when I like to use the example of IoT today, I think of a leak sensor, and it gives you a notification that, hey, you've had a leak at home. And now it's better because, ordinarily that would have gone unnoticed, and now you can respond to that. But in the future, right, I imagine assessing the leak and having the plumber come, and just that concept, but applying it all over in technology, where it's really about making our lives easier and better, and taking that data and making decisions for us, and helping make lives better. So when I look at IoT and I look at it tomorrow, it's really about that transformation from, so much of that data just being thrown at us today to make decisions with, to leveraging what technology is truly capable of, and starting to blend that into the background.
Yeah, I think we're all there with you, waiting for that and that convergence to really happen. And it almost seemed it's so intuitive and seamless that you don't even realize all the compute that's behind the scenes making it all work, and the benefits that you can get. It all feeds to one another, whether it's the water sensors to the water main to the utility companies that can benefit from that. Those improvements and those technology advancements are hopefully right among us and staring us in the face within the next couple of years. So thank you for that answer. Loved it. And Josh, thank you for just being with us today and sharing your insights. To hear more about how IoT technologies at Oxit are shaping the future of the industrial IoT, we invite you to attend our IoT developer conference that we call Works With, where Oxit, you'll be participating, and very excited to have you on that stage with us. To find more information about it, go to workswith.scilabs.com. Josh, thanks again. Great to visit with you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, take care.